there, thanks for joining me to color. Today we're going to be working on this adorable Garden Gnome by Whimsy Stamps. Isn't she cute? Love her. This is a card kit. This is the very first Christmas card kit for this year. I'll put a link at the top of the screen if you'd like to head over and grab one up. I only made a few, so if you want her, make sure to snatch her up quickly. I'll also put a list of stuff I use down in the description box in case you would like to grab anything from the store too. Don't forget to use your coupon SAVE50 for 50% off. I am closing my online store, so make sure to head over there and grab any Copic markers, embellishments, tape, paper, all that stuff at 50% off. It's a great bargain and it's helping me out so that I can get that all taken care of. So I went ahead and I stamped my image on Neenah 80-pound solar white cardstock. So let's color. For our skin today, we're going to use E71, E21, E00, E50, and for the cheek, I'm going to use R20 and 30. This is a new skin tone I'm trying out, so we'll see how it works out. If you don't like this one, you can always use one that you're comfortable with, and you know, just use one you've already used before. So let's go ahead and start with E71, and for our E71, we are going to do a little dab of color. It's really dark, so be careful. You only want to use a bit. Down here at the bottom of her hands. And you could make these gloves too, but I chose to go ahead and make them just skin toned. And next we'll add E21. And so I'm going to go right over the top of that E71. And I'm going to brush up about 3/4 of the way. And then we'll fill it in with our E00. So I tend to brush from the bottom all the way to the top. Same for this side. We just fill it in. And then because I'm giving her a little bit of a yellow tone, I'm adding E50 on the top of that. So I'm just going to brush right over her entire hand with that. And then we're going to again start with E71 and we're going to do her face. So I'm going to do a little bit of a shadow up here where her bangs are, her hair is. I'm going to start down here and I'm going to kind of pull it down so it gets a little bit wider at the end, like that. And then we're going to have our shadows be on the right side of her hair. So we're going to go along the back of this hair. Back of that one. Behind this one, down the side. And then she's got a little bit of her face showing right here. I'm going to go ahead and bring that out onto the end of her chin there. Oh, and she has, nope, that's her shirt. I was thinking this was her neck here, but I'm going to make that part of her shirt or her dress. Okay, then we'll go with E21. So for our E21, we're going to want to brush over the top of our 71. So I'm going to bring this around. Right along the edge, and then I'm going to fill in this little section here next to her hair, and up here we'll brush over 71, pull this color out away from the edge of her face. I'm going to bring this around here. I think I'll do a little bit more around the edge of this one little piece of hair here. And then we're going to add E00. I'm going to go ahead and brush. And I don't want to brush over her eye because she's got that little dot there. But if you do go over it on accident, you can always go back over the top of it with your Color of Splendor, or you can use your white paint pen to fill it back in. And then I'm going to use my E50 over her whole face. And I'm going to give her face 2 coats, so I'm not worrying if it's looking a little bit blotchy. So I'm going to put her cheek on next. Okay, so for our cheek, we're going to use R20. And since this side over here, you can't see, you can see a little bit. I'm not going to do, I think maybe I'll do this and maybe do a little bit up here. I guess she has quite a bit of cheek showing there. On my card, on my first card, I didn't give it any color on this left side, but today I think I will give it just a little bit. And I think I'll give it a little bit more of my R20. Okay, so now we're going to go over her entire face with our E00 for a second coat. And I'm going to give it a second coat of my E50. And I think up here, along this little section right here, I'm going to add just a little dab of my 71. For her hair, we're going to use E44, 43, 42, and 41. And we're going to start with 43. Let's go ahead and do this braid here first. So she's got a little section here in the middle that I'm going to color all the way in. And then for the braid, I'm going to go down along the bottom section. Down here, we'll go right along the edge. And then for this top one, same thing, I'm going to go along the bottom edge. And then up here, we'll go along her hat. And then I'm going to bring this color down along the bottom of every section that has a line. And then up here at the top, we're going to go away from her part. I'm going to give it 2 coats, so I'm not worried about getting too close. And over here, same thing. I'm going to go along this side. And then this little section right here is in the back, so I'm going to color that in. And we'll give this little section right here a little dab. Okay, that's looking good for a first coat. So we'll add 43 next. So I'm going to go right along the edge of that 44 and add a little dab of color to each of my little braids. And then we'll add some 42. And I'm going to go over all of her hair with my E41 just to kind of blend things together. Okay, and then I'm going to go in and add my dark back in, so I'm going to go with my 44. And I'm going to try to do just some little streaky lines. Next, we're going to work on the flowers. So for that, we're going to use E41 and 40. And then for the centers and the butterflies, we're going to use YR23 and YR31. So for flowers, we're not going to do anything too fancy. I want them to be white. So we're going to use E41. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flick a little color away from the center of each flower. Nothing fancy. And she's got a couple right here that she's sitting on. And I didn't even worry if I actually got some on the center part, because we're going to make that yellow, so we'll cover all of that up. So now I'm going to go ahead and fill them in with my E40. And again, if I'm just going to start here, touch down on top of my 41, and I'm going to flick out. And if I don't fill it all the way in, that's fine, I don't care. If it's a little bit white, I'm fine with it. If you're worried, you can just fill in the entire thing. Don't forget the ones she's sitting on. And then I'm going to come back with a second coat of my 41 just to darken it up a little bit. Again, I'm just touching down in the center and flicking away from that little center circle. And then for the centers, we're going to start with our YR23, and I'm going to do just the bottom half of each of these circles. I'm just going to give each one a little swipe. Some of them are pretty small, so you're going to fill it in. And then for my little butterfly wings, I'm going to give each little wing a little, let's call it a V. And then we're going to come in with our YR31 and we're going to fill in all these circles and our butterfly wings. And I'm going to come back with my YR23. I'm just going to darken up the bottom half again. And I think I'll do a little bit on my butterflies. So let's go ahead and move on to the leaves, and then we're going to do the overshirt and her leggings with YG 97, 95, and 93. So we're going to start with our 97, and for each leaf I'm going to go in and give it a little slash of color. work our way down here. There's some down this way. Here's a little bit bigger circle, so I'm going to go ahead and give that a little dab of color too. And then right here, she's got a couple of little stems for these flowers. So I'm going to go ahead and just fill those in. Since they're pretty much underneath the petals, they're going to be in the shadows. And then down here, we're going to go along here, and we're going to give her some grass. A little bit. Then we're going to add our YG95. So again, we're going to add to our grass. And then I'm going to brush up a little bit to make some little grass strokes. And then we want to come along and we want to add to each of our little leaves. Some of them are pretty small, so you're not going to have any more space for any more color, or you're going to fill them all the way in, and that's fine. I'm going to fill in some of these smaller dots. And we'll come up here and we'll do these. And then we're going to fill those in with our 93. So you have some that aren't filled all in completely. Now you're going to go over those. And I kind of just go over the entire leaf. Even if I've already colored most of it in. It kind of blends the other two colors together. Softens them a little bit. And then down here in the grass, you can also add a few little strokes of grass. Then we're going to pop up here and we're going to do her leggings and her overshirt. So for her leggings, I'm going to do a small line along the back of her leg. And then for her overshirt, or her vest, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to do right along here. And then we're going to go along the back. And then I'm going to brush away from that little line that I put down. I'm going to bring it out past this little petal. And then we're going to add our YG95. So let's add another little stripe to her socks, or her leggings, stockings, whichever you prefer. And we're going to brush this out here. And then we're going to fill it in with our YG93. And then with this color, I'm going to brush from the back all the way to the front. It'll soften this little area right here in the front. A little rough patch I got going on right here in the corner. Okay then, that leaves us with the rest of the stuff. We're going to use RV69, R59, and R46. So let's go ahead and start with RV69, and let's go ahead and start on her shoe down here. So for this back shoe, I'm going to do a little dab back here on the back of her legging, and then I'm going to come around underneath this little lip on her shoe and brush away from this edge of this shoe. And let's go up a little bit from the bottom. And on this shoe, we're going to come around the bottom over here. And again, I'm going to make this little curve where it's rolled over a little bit by her legging. And then she's also got this little crease in her shoe right here. I should probably do that on this side too. Over here, I think I'll brush this up just a little bit more. And then we're going to add our R59 on top of that. So on this one, we'll go from the back and let's swish around over here to the front. And we'll bring this one up. Being careful not to color that flower. And then we're going to fill it in with our R46. And I tend to go over her entire shoe. I always like to go over everything with the last color and kind of smooshes everything together. Softens some things up. This red really brightens it up a little bit. Okay, then we're going to start again with our R69, and let's go ahead and do her dress. So she's got a little patch right here that's showing above that flower. And then over here, we're going to go past this flower, and she's got a little bit showing right here in between that little crease. And then over here, we're going to do her shirt. So let's go ahead and go like this. The top, and then let's do a little dab along the bottom. I'm gonna do this arm too. Do a little less on this side because there's not much showing over there, and then for her collar right here, we'll get right in there. And then again, we're going to add 59. I'm going to go ahead and fill in this section here behind her arm. And then 46 to fill that in. And there's a little petal I forgot to do right here. I'm just going to brush that with it. Alrighty, so then we're going to move on again with our RV69, and we're going to go do our hat. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this little section right here in. It's kind of small, so make sure to use just the tip of your pen and very lightly dab it on there. And then for this section, let's go ahead and bring this up. If your RB69 is like mine, I hardly ever use it, so you might want to also think about removing the cap on the both ends for a little bit until you get started, and make sure it's not too full. And we're going to bring this side across her forehead, and then we're also going to bring a stripe along the other side of the curve of her hat. Now let's go ahead and do this color clear up, and we'll connect it right here. And I'm thinking that I maybe need to pull this past these little leaves. Then we will add 59. So let's go ahead and add some up here. I'm going to bring this out closer to my flower. And then we're going to add our 46 over the top. But even though I already filled this in down here, I'm going to go ahead and swipe over it with a little coat of this, and that will brighten it up a little bit. I'm being really careful around all these leaves. We don't want to color those. Give my lines a couple of more little swipes to soften those up. Alright, so I have all my stuff here, but I'm going to go ahead and use my Spica glitter pen to add some sparkles to all these little swirls and lines. I think I'll put a little swirl bit here on the end of her hat too, but all these little places where there's some swirls, and I'm going to add some to her hair. You know, I'm all about sparkles. And then even little butterfly antennae. I'll add a few to that. And we don't want to forget this one. Let's add a little bit of glitter on there. So let's go ahead and put all of our stuff together here. Oops, I got 2 of that one. I don't need that. Okay, let's go ahead and attach her first. Got a few little rough edges. I'm just going to brush those off. And even this little red one has a few on there. So make sure when you're putting your card together, you kind of swipe your hand over the sides to brush some of those off. And then you're going to get the little snowflakes. And some of the little snowflakes are going to have the little spots in here. So you're going to want to poke those out. Like this one here has all the little dots in it. So you're just going to quickly pop those out. Put these over here. I should have done that first. Shame on me. Okay, so first thing I do is I check to make sure my card is going the direction I want it to open. And then I'm going to attach the red piece. And I put this one on here square. Nothing fancy. Next, we're going to attach this pretty flowered piece. And I'll go ahead and put a link down in the description box to all these papers in case you would like to pick some up. They're from the Simple Stories, I think it's Very Merry collection. Next is the snowflakes. And these have but these pieces have cards on the back. They'd be perfect for a project like for your photo album if you are doing some Christmas pages. So this piece is going to go on here like this. And then next we're going to have a little checked piece, or it has these gorgeous flowers on the back. And this piece is like this. And then you have some musical notes. See, lots of them have flowers on the back. This one's black with the flowers. And then some of the pieces have words on them, so you want to make sure to read it to make sure that the words are right side up if you care about that. Next we'll attach, whoops, spilling my sequins. Next I'm going to attach my girl. And I put her in the middle. Oops, let's make sure the grass is straight. And then you're going to get your snowflakes. Let's go ahead and attach those. And then in your kit, you're going to get a little bag of red sequins so that you can put some snowflakes or some sequins on your snowflakes. And you'll get a bunch. I just opened the little bag and dumped some in there. So if you want to put more than 3 and decorate more than just the little bit I put on here, you can do that. Okay, and then you're going to get the little sentiment here that I stamped for you. And this is from the Jolly Christmas CC Designs sentiment set. But I couldn't find it on the store anymore, so I'm assuming that it is sold or it's been retired. But if you need a Christmas sentiment set, I have Snowy Sentiments still available, and this one says Naughty or Nice that you could use for your Christmas cards. And I'll put these both down in the description box in case you'd like to pick it up because they're half off. So this one says it was $10, so it's $5. And I think this one over here was $8, so $4 at the store if you use the coupon SAVE50. And I have quite a few of those left, so if you want to grab one, you can. It's a pretty good deal for $5. Or even if you get two, that's only $9. And then you have some for your Christmas cards. And I'm going to try to use both of those in the upcoming Christmas cards so that we can use those and they'll be on there. And then we're just going to pop that on there. And I did stamp this with some Versafine ink, the sentiment here. Alright guys, so there is our card today, Garden Gnome. Isn't she cute? Our very first Christmas card of the year. I've got 7 Christmas images picked out, so that's what we'll be doing unless I see some more that come out before it runs out of time, and then I might do those up. But otherwise, as I do them, that's all there's going to be. So if you want one, make sure to head over to the store or over to the blog and pick these up as they become available, because I'm pretty sure they won't last very long. And I'm just a little store, so I don't make 1,000,002 kits. This one I made 6. So if you're interested in that, make sure to head over and grab one. So if you love the video, guys, make sure to hit the thumbs up button down below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and hit the little bell note so you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video, and you can drop by and you can leave me a message saying hi. So I hope you're having a fabulous day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.